Welcome back to the second part of Hacking Infinity Meatybones.
Magical Girl edition.
Yes. Uh, so let's
And
show
it has
this.
proven to be the most intensive genre character creation of all the genres for some reason, because it's so, like, they have to be unique, and there's so many different kinds of magical girls. Yeah.
Everybody has their own.
Yeah, it's a really nice design space because it's both very wide with possibility, but there's also very set tropes that are leaned upon heavily. It's a nice mix.
So Adaser, there's some things that you wanted to cover, like
Yes, I have some
concerning
questions.
characters.
But first, we should, if you guys are ready, we can describe your characters, and after that, I can ask you some questions. It's basic world building stuff. Uh, sort of establish who you are in this world and what kind of world it is. But we've already kind of done that a little bit. This didn't take too long.
Okay. I think I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I'm Gucci.
Right. So, why doesn't Brad start? Since they've had the most to think about.
Bianca is a recovering mean girl slash evil genius. She's was not at the uh, in terms of the her house of cruel transmogrifiers. She was not at the very top, but she was high enough up that she had lackeys who have probably now turned on her.
Yeah.
And let me see, her magic is sort of described as pink glitter transmogrification. It's very much making things cuter, but as an attack, it's like turning people into sort of inoffensive animals. Uh, Leaning heavily on bunny rabbits for that.
Despite us all knowing that bunny rabbits are one of the most vicious animals
That's true.
out there.
Yeah.
Take your head, clean right off.
Yeah. It's just flesh wound. Her skills are deception, insight, and intimidation. And then her special
Flavor skills.
Her special player skill. Yeah. Uh, her specialized skills are honeyed words and occult erudition. There anything else that
Why don't we so describe what you look like?
Oh yes,
that's important for
that is.
Yeah.
Well, if I can maybe pump the brakes here on that because of the setting.
Yeah.
Is there like a school uniform that then is then like a degree of personalization to, or is it like everyone just wears what they wear?
And also, is your regular persona very, very different from what your magical girl transformation is, or is it very, very similar? So that's up to you guys. Do you want to have costumes
Oh
that
my
you
god, I
transform?
forgot about the transformation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How could
Oh,
you forget? I've been mentioning it this whole time.
oh god. Or I'm reeling. If my camera was working, I'm just covering my face.
It
Sure.
sounds like you're covering your face. Audio wise, I'm picking that up. So yeah, you have to be thinking about that so you can describe it when it happens. Yeah, I think it's there's a uniform like style that you could wear, but it's anywhere from like the slacks and sweatshirts with a tie underneath it, or it could be like the classic like high socks, skirt, vest, fluffy collar. It's as long as it's like one of like within the range of those two outfits. Like it could be a fluffy shirt under a sweater. Like it has a you have 5 things you can wear. You can combine those in any way you want, which makes it that if you're dressed like a regular person, then you're a background character. But if you have like bright colored hair and you have like a frill under a sweater, or if you have your sleeves rolled up, or you're always chewing on a sucker, it's the if you look at all different, you might be a protagonist situation. So yeah,
Cool.
you all have
And
these uniforms, yeah.
do we know the color scheme for the uniform?
Um,
I'd like to think that the uniform color scheme is not set across the entire school, but it's per house.
Sure, I
right,
like that too. I like
yeah,
that too.
just like the Hogwarts. So the color scheme is gray, but your house can give you like an accent pin or a different scarf that's also in the like you can wear these things, and like you can have different color ascots, or the like Hogwarts, the trim of your sweater could be slightly
Hmm.
different. And there are kids who study under different schools, so they could wear like a green trim sweater with like a bright purple ascot, like where they have minors and majors, depending if they're so like I just study everything. I don't even care.
Hmm.
Nice, nice. Anyway, sorry, Brad. Please continue. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
establish that important law point before we.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Uh, so I think that Bianca's take on the school uniform is right on the line of uh, the sort of the letter of the law of what's acceptable uh, in that it is a very fashion forward take on it. It's like perfectly turned out. The ascot kind of uh, billows with its own life, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it is of course like this uh, uh, Barbie pink, but uh, not but it's a very there's like a constant slight color shift to it, so it's not like that single Barbie pink, but there's like a depth to it,
Okay.
and
All
it
right.
like is uh, perfectly accents uh, the required heather gray of
Sure.
yeah
Like all
and
your accents are like extra. Like there's ornate bordering on your clothes that kind of shift with the colors. Like your
absolutely.
shoes are pink and your stockings are like white, but they're a little pink. And
Mhm.
so, are
Yeah,
you
with a little bit of
slash your
pearlescence
dress?
to it.
Are you like schoolgirl short sleeves? Are you in a sweater? Are you have the
Uh,
ascot? So
I think the ascot and a jacket and
okay,
a skirt that is uh,
too
j-
poofy.
that's
That's
poofy.
too poofy. Like it's the schoolgirl except there's like tulle underneath it. Because I
Yeah,
keep thinking of
yeah.
like clouds for you, but yeah.
Um, and it's not like the skirt isn't like super short, but it's like
Sure.
uh, this length that is like perfectly calculated uh, to draw eyes to her legs, and
Sure.
and and works just right with that that slight pearlescence to the hose.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and then upon her transformation, uh, really is
Like you can think about this until you actually transform.
okay.
If you want to
Okay.
hold it off, because
Yeah, maybe.
we may not get to a transformation sequence this week, so we'll see. Yeah, give you some time to think about it. Maybe watch a bunch of. Last time I did this, I watched a bunch of almost clips of a bunch of transformation sequences all together, and yeah. So
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I can
I'll hold on.
describe things better for the game. Yeah.
Was
All right.
Killer Kill in there?
Probably. There were a couple of things where like, oh, this is really cute, and then like the design shifted a lot, and I was like, oh, those are nipples. Sure, it's different editing for different genres, which is fine. Yeah. So I need to watch more anime.
Yeah, I've been kind of remiss on that too.
Yeah. All
Anime's
right.
love, anime's life.
That's what they say. Just like Jesus said. Excellent. Also, you have blonde hair.
Yes, absolutely.
And what we decided, I think, Spook, is that the school is sidestepped away, so it's a very international school, and it's close enough to everywhere. It's close enough to like big cities, like it's near Prague, it's near Paris, it's near Perth, all the P cities. It's near Pittsburgh, and maybe it should be near only the P cities. We'll find out. And so it's a very international school, but I think there's that like the magical field of international language translation, so you can understand each other.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I guess we learn about the next person, the other person. What is your name, new person, new friend?
My name is Mitsuha Rainsborough. I guess she's half British, half Japanese. She has the look of, you probably see her character being like drawn like sort of student council president.
Okay.
In most like animes or like kind of classic shrine maiden. She's got black hair with the very sort of straight, harsh fringe, and then the long bangs at the side. Where's
I'm sorry. How is her name spelled? And is it just last name first, or is it should I just go with the first name?
Just go with the first name. It's in Roll20 if you look at my character sheet just below.
If you go to Mitsuha.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Mitsuha Rainsborough. And yeah, in terms of the school uniform, it's mainly like the standard thing with like the blazer and the skirt, black tights rather than high socks. And she obviously has like a lot of the frilly bits because she's quite into like the goth culture. And
so it's a slight Lolita look.
Yeah, very,
but
very
just with like accents, very, very.
Yeah, it's less. It's more of like the Western goth than like the sort of Japanese lolly kind of thing. Because she's, I think she was raised in England, but because of like, she's like the inheritant of this legacy. Because I was thinking actually, just to tangent quickly, for the one I wasn't sure of my specialty, I was going to take the family legacy of like her being the inheritant of this magical legacy of magical shrine maiden girls.
Sure.
I was probably going to take that one, and I think it's also that the pressure and expectations from that are the source of her like teen angst.
All right. I love that you guys have given me so many good seeds. Just like, oh, what are you going to turn into? I'll plant you over here. Just yeah.
And, oh yes, gothic teen angst.
Yeah. Oh, teen angst about your lineage. Okay. Plant it down. Put some dirt underneath it. A little water. Oh, your minions turning against you? Okay, I'll put some rainbow seeds in. Pat those
Yeah.
down. Make a little row of them.
But then I'll have to run to Brad for mildly erotic comfort.
Oh no! What will we do then? I mean, it depends on how these questions are asked.
That could go either way.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, please continue.
I don't know what else to say. Ask me more questions.
Oh, yes. What are your theme, your hair color, your move, or you don't have to talk about your move, but you can talk about your move. But yeah,
So
just
my
tell us about your yeah. What are your skills?
my skills I picked are insight, perception, and insight, persuasion. Yeah.
They're very
And then,
close.
yeah, my two flavor ones are tattooist and family legacy, or shrine maiden legacy, or maybe just legacy because that's broader.
Sure.
And then, yeah, my school of magic is I'm a summoner, mainly like spirits rather than like physical things, but they still do whatever the situation requires. And then my special move is spirit fusion. Ha! So I can essentially be possessed by one of my own spirits, and my eyes go all different colored, and it's super badass.
So, this is also important. What are your guys' eye color?
It's a hard question. I think a deep maroon.
Okay.
Uh, we're gonna go with violet.
Ooh, classic anime.
Yeah.
I think you could only be more anime if you had like one eye one color and one eye another, which is what I wanted so badly when I was growing up. I'm like, I wish I had like one gray eye and then I white hairs and dye it any color that I want.
Contacts.
And contacts, yeah, and I just started bleaching my hair because I got around it. Um, excellent. What is your best and your worst subject in school?
My best subject is history, and my worst is philosophy.
Excellent. And Bianca, what are your best and worst subjects?
My best subject is actually math. My worst is PE.
Nice. Which is a physical education here
Yes,
for the
yes.
international folks. Sport. Excellent.
Yeah. Go
Okay,
sports.
and go sport.
Really.
So we were talking about it being in high or middle school, and would you guys be okay starting in 10th grade, which is 3 years from graduation?
Could you put that as like an age number?
Uh, 14, Nick?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Sorry, we don't
Right.
use the grades over here, so like.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like, well, if you go back from how old you are when you graduate, and I was like, well, uh, I'm in
But yeah. But
another
14 sounds like the
school-based
right
class.
age, and whatever year in class corresponds to
Yeah,
that. Probably right.
yeah, I'll work out grades by next situation because it's probably based on like how well you do. Um, okay, and I have some questions for you guys, and I'm trying to shift the fantasy questions and the Bond questions from all these games over to Magical Girl style. So please excuse me if it gets a little strange. Um, so Bianca,
Yes.
why? What event, if there was one, made you turn from crime to books? Was it a thing like you worked as a criminal over summer school, and then you're like, oh, well, when regular school comes around, I have to really focus down, or was it something else, something personal, heart wrenching that I can plant in the film?
I think that
Was it love?
Hmm. I think that I I did something horrible to like my former best friend from before I was popular. Uh, and
So
it wasn't
does
like,
that mean you turned to evil to become popular?
oh yes, yes,
As is
that's
the
definitely part of it.
classic trope.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Uh,
Uh, and it wasn't like I physically attacked them, but it was just like a social thing that I was so vicious to them that they uh, uh, they committed suicide, and that just took me on a different track. And they are probably around somewhere as a ghost
sure.
because hooks.
Yeah. Uh, they committed suicide. Now, does your person think they exist as a ghost? Like, have you seen them at like the ghost quad being a ghost playing ghost basketball? Or is it just a feeling you have? Like, is it the guilt manifested in things like a door slamming when you were studying, or did you get the
Uh,
spooks? Like, do you know
yeah,
for sure if they're a ghost, or do you just
I
suspect?
think I've never seen them visibly manifest.
Mhm.
But there's been there has been signs that I think I've just like uh, interpreted as my guilt rather than like a supernatural presence at this point.
Mhm. Okay. So you think, are you not sure whether it's a ghost or not? Or do you think, oh, I'm just feeling guilty, so it's definitely not a ghost? Or,
Yeah, it's not that I've dismissed the possibility of
okay,
them being a ghost. It's that I
okay,
just haven't thought of that because
sure. I'll
my
put probably not a ghost.
okay.
It's like the beginning of horror movies, like it's just the wind, it's just this old house creaking, and then you're like, the buried bodies in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And what was your friend's name?
Um. Hmm. How about I shouldn't be blanking.
It's okay. You're not in GM mode. You're
Yeah. uh.
the hard
Okay.
shift.
Well, I want to pick a gender neutral name.
Okay.
Um. Uh. But I am blanking on good gender.
Stevie.
That could work. Yeah, yeah. Unless we come up with something better, Stevie.
Okay. If you come up with a better name, then let me know. Stevie Ghost? Question mark. All right, and we have a question for Mizuha. I had a question. Oh, uh, who is your rival, or who is trying to get your position as the
Ooh.
inheritor for this Shrine Maiden job?
It's probably like someone who's um, they probably have like the same like kind of they have the same haircut as me, the same like kind of like classic head girl in
Hmm.
anime haircut, but they're
Yeah,
like without the gothic flavor, and they're like full Japanese, and they give me a bit of shit for that, a bit of like casual racism
yeah,
on being a hafu. Um,
yeah.
and their name is like Hitana Murasaki or something like that. Uh,
Sure.
yeah, they're like the classic model, and I'm like the goth flavor thing. But we're like very. It's one of those things where we're so similar,
Hmm.
in the thing rather than like opposites.
Yeah, because you've both grown up doing this thing. Like both of your families have It's like the different schools of Tai Chi. Like you can trace your lineage back to that breaking point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And oh yeah.
Oh, rather than Stevie, let's go with Kendall.
Yeah. Kendall.
Okay,
Right.
sorry to interrupt.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's a good name. Yeah. So Mitana Murasaki, she is full Japanese, and she's so. In what way have you upstaged her recently? Or even like, does she like always bring up as like, you're the reason this thing happened, and it set her back like just enough so you got the.
I think it's maybe the position itself. Like she was, certain that she would become class president, and that that she felt that it was her right and that it belonged to her, and so she never even really considered me like losing a possibility. And then now that she has, she's just gone completely off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there was maybe a debate at some point, like before the elections, before like student council, and yeah, I maybe like
there was it was a three-way debate where she had prepared all her responses against like one person. You were like the Green Party, which is like a tertiary party here that never actually gets any votes.
Sure. Yeah, we got one of those.
Yeah.
I voted for Jill Stein. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
And so she had prepared to go against this one person and just brushed you off, but you kept bringing up points that she hadn't, like your debate technique was something that she just wasn't prepared for. Like she had studied for it, and she had looked at, like she knew you were in the running because she knows everyone that's in the running, but she had dismissed you.
Well, I think it was maybe because I was raised in like a British school rather than a Japanese one, that maybe there was some other debate method that they taught, and that's why she hadn't prepared. And so that's also then what fuels her hatred.
You were less polite.
I don't know if it's less polite, but maybe just like some strange arcane, English debate style that she just didn't know about, and but now she's seen it, and now she's thought of a countermeasure.
Yeah, she's prepared again, and she has to wait for re-elections to do it. Yeah, that's one of those things like where if you don't get class president in high school, then you can't get class president in college, and if you don't get class president in college, then you can't like go into this internship. I imagine her as a very organized, like she has a binder of her life the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she has like lick spittles who like follow her around, like glasses can. Yeah.
You said glasses what?
Or just like, generic glasses and pigtails, like helper NPC, the program.
I thought you said glasses and curls, like one person has curly hair and one person wears glasses, and I was like,
no, I said glasses can.
All right, excellent. And
thank you, Resin. I appreciate it.
And so we have two people who are not great for you, but who at the school knows a secret about you? And it can be the other player character, or it could be somebody completely new. And you don't have to tell me what that secret is, but they know a secret.
I mean, not to try and meta it, but if there's going to be like another opportunity to take a bond with Brad, then I'll probably save it. But if this is like
there's going to be a chance to get a bond between.
Okay, I'll probably go with someone else then. Is there like if there's like a professor or a teacher that specializes in magical tattooing and stuff. Probably them. Oh, and I have like shitloads of tattoos. I didn't mention that.
Oh, sure. Let me just, I'll just scroll up and say shitloads of tattoos. Are you like Tattoo, the person who can summon creatures from their tattoos?
No, it's
Okay.
not. I mean, I think it. I don't. I mean, I am like them in that I have tattoos and I summon things, but I don't summon the tattoos themselves.
Okay.
But yeah, if there's like a professor of symbology and mystical tattoos, then they're the one who knows the secret about me.
Okay.
And like, if it's okay, it could be that I offered it to them. I gave it to them rather than them like finding it out somehow.
Sure. Absolutely. And so is it going to play against trope where it's kind of like a slightly podgy, like glasses wearing, sweater vest professor who, when they roll up their sleeves, it's just like complete suit? Or is it like the cool teacher who rides a motorcycle? Or is it like the podgy guy, but he also rides a motorcycle? I don't know. Or
Yeah,
they like
I think it's like the
drive an
fussy old man who rolls it. He's like 80, but he's still got a mohawk. It's like
Yeah.
a really old punk dude.
Nice. All right. Thin or fat?
I always imagine punks being far too thin, so
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. As soon as you said like an old punk, I'm like, well, they have to be super skinny from all the smoking and the drugs that they did.
Yeah, really like all knees and elbows.
Okay. All right. Cool. Do they have a name, or is it you just call them Professor?
His name's Peter Yiannopoulos.
All right. And Brad, who knows your secret?
Well, I guess that would depend on what the secret was, wouldn't it? I think that I'm trying to decide whether it's a secret tied to my past life or it's like a more current point of vulnerability. Um, and I think that hmm.
Is the secret
This
that
is
you love ice cream?
uh, sadly that secret is being revealed by the ice cream truck going by. Uh,
I was just like having us like.
um, I think well maybe this is I this is actually where I'm going to establish a bond with Mitsuha. Is that an acceptable
Yeah.
pronunciation or?
That's spot on.
Okay. Um, uh, you've like I really try to avoid revealing my like the my like academic stuff in class I like anytime I turn in homework I make sure that it's kind of or that I or receive the grades back. I like cover them immediately, that sort of thing. Um, but you've seen that I may not be like valedictorian, but I get a lot of A's, and I actually do care about my schoolwork and um, that stuff.
Okay, so that's the secret, and that Mitsuha knows that Bianca is really clever.
Closet nerd.
Yes.
Closet
yes.
nerd. And I think the fact that you can see their papers and not other people can't is because you both sit at the back of the class for homeroom, at least.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah. No, put that down as you both sit. Because that means, like, you can sneak out when you want, or, like, you can have, like, little discussions and the teacher won't notice very well. It's the classic safety zone for being a deviant player character. Okay. All right. So speaking of bonds together, well, since you have that bond, which one of you has an after-school job?
I think I probably do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is that job?
Can I be like an assistant slash maybe even doing like some kind of apprenticeship at a tattoo parlor? Maybe one as well that is like one that's got like a back room for mystical clients as well. So it seems like just a normal one, but then it's also a mystical one.
Sure. Yeah. I think that you don't you're not quite up to like tattooing people yet.
Oh sure, no,
Yeah, you draw flash and you help clean things, and maybe you like lend your magical powers for when they're like setting a rune in. Yeah, but you're still in school. They want you to finish
Oh yeah,
college first, and then the witchcraft.
Purely assisting, like just maybe even like just mixing the inks and stuff like that.
Sure. So you work at a tattoo parlor, and because of that, what embarrassing situation did you find Bianca Forbes in? And how did that come to be?
Maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't want to step on your toes, Brad, but maybe Bianca got a slightly inappropriate tattoo somewhere. How do you feel about that?
Maybe there's a piercing involved.
Ooh, or maybe yeah, it could just be a piercing. That's true.
I know the since it's like high school, the tattoo place that I used to go to had several selections of magazines on the table, and one of them was a particular art magazine called Heavy Metal, I believe it was, and it's a risque comic magazine. Very sinister. It could also be like something like Bianca has a crush on someone there, or
fell in
the trash can outside the back, or it could be.
I like the crush on someone there more than the actual tattoo. I think Bianca would find tattoos icky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are so clean cut. Okay, so it could be it could just be that you you crush on the bad goth boys, and so you're kind of like trying to get in on the scene or something through that.
Yeah, like
is it just
I never actually go into the tattoo parlor, but I walk by it a surprising with surprising frequency.
Yeah, and then Mitsuha notices, because like you see it at school, and it's like when you see someone you kind of recognize or that and then you keep seeing them and seeing them, it filters in a lot clearer then. So
or like
is it
Bianca's doing like the little peeking around the corner, spying on someone, and then like taking garbage like round the back, and then we see each other, and there's like the awkward long shot of like, oh, I wasn't just spying on someone.
No, I was getting this bottle cap for my bottle cap collection.
Yeah, I was just walking by. What are you doing here? It doesn't matter that you work here. What are you doing here?
Glitter, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bianca, is it a particular? Is it just like a particular person, or is it just that? Oh, tattoos.
Uh, I think one of the artists there, who's like it's like 23. His name's
Ooh.
Corey.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, he's hot.
I'm putting that exact quote in for his description.
Okay.
All right. Um, so Bianca, you had to stay after school to help clean up one day. It may have been community service or detention. And Mitsuha was there. Uh, what happened that made you two become closer as friends? Like move from like person I sit next to oh, this thing happened, so we kind of trust each other, even if it's just like a little bit, or if it's like they save me, or if it's there's a scary noise. Who knows? Maybe we held hands at one time. I don't know.
uh,
So it was after
me,
school hours. You
yeah.
had to do something.
Uh, maybe the whoever was uh, holding the detention uh, was being a real ass, and we kind of worked together to take them down.
Sure.
Does that sound like a Mitsuha sort of thing at all?
Oh yeah, that's totally like,
Okay.
breach of conduct, not about that.
Uh,
Yeah. So what? So
so
tell me a little
the,
more about that.
um, I think the person who's um, who was holding the detention was I guess the title would be like uh, assistant principal or uh, assistant headmaster.
Oh, so it was somebody very high up. Was it like an older student or another teacher who was the assistant principal?
Yes, yes. Uh, assistant principal Trace
Trace.
or assistant headmaster. That's a little better, right? Headmaster
Yeah,
than yeah.
assistant high master.
High master.
High master. Yeah,
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Nice.
assistant high master Trace. Um, and what did you two do to thwart their meanness and rudeness? Like, were they not paying attention? Were they giving you too much work? Were they being bossy, or what? How did they wrong you?
Uh, yeah, I think that they were being like um they're being really condescending and mean to another like I think we both like were able to sort of defend ourselves, but they are also being mean to another student
Mm.
and uh, maybe like you scared them with with like a creature, and I just uh, totally tore into them from there.
Okay.
Like with words,
Yes,
or
yes,
did
with
you
words.
murder your high? Okay.
Oh, murdered them with words.
Right.
Could it maybe be that we did like a kind of Nancy Drew team up thing where we used our powers combined to uncover, like actual evidence of their wrongdoing and stuff, Like your glitters illuminated the area, allowing my spirits to see, and then, with our powers combined, we uncovered their, you know, we Nancy Drewed them is my idea,
Yeah.
but take
Okay.
it or leave it.
Uh, their secret reason for being terrible. And what was their reason for being terrible that day? Was it something very serious, or was it something they were just taking out on kids, or Were they secretly an evil monster in disguise? Or did they just like lock their keys in their car?
Hmm. I think that I think maybe they have like these like pedophile leanings that they keep under lock and key.
And how did you discover that they were a pedo?
I don't know.
Like what did you, and are they now no longer in the school? Did you get them kicked out? Did you expose their dark secret in a terrible way and then get them kicked out? If you can answer that question, you don't need to answer the other question. You don't.
Okay.
We'll just leave it vague. It was
so
discovered.
I'm thinking that we revealed them enough that we were able to throw it in their face, but not in a way that we could actually prove it to get them thrown out.
Okay. So now there is the assistant high master Trace, who I'm not gonna bring them, like, they're not an actual pedophile. They just like younger, not like still of age. But
Yeah.
they have, like,
well, my thinking is that they
because that's
maybe
a very heavy subject.
yeah, like he wouldn't like actually like touch someone inappropriately, but he because he has these feelings, it affects the way he's like particularly mean.
Sure.
Because he's just trying to.
Lecherous, maybe the word we're looking for here.
Lecherous.
Yeah.
Lecherous is more comfortable.
Lecherous. Okay. Go with that.
Lecherous, but cruel to cover it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we did say we're going to keep it very light.
Yeah, that's not light.
So
sorry.
Yeah, that's real heavy. Yeah, but lecherous. Maybe with other teachers, maybe some of the teachers' assistants, instead of with the kids. I'd feel more comfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So now you have bonds with each other. Is there anything you each wanted to Is there anything you can think of in a way that you would be interconnected in a way that would make you more of friends or frenemies or less of, like, is there anything that's come up while the other person has been talking where you're like, oh, well, my person didn't like that, or my person would like that, or this is how we're different but complementary?
I think I have one thing where I have like I really like Bianca looks like the perfect like blank canvas to me because she's like so like bright and and colorful and like sort of has this kind of like that vibe. I think that's like the perfect canvas. So like I really want to tattoo her when I get my license, but obviously she's like, tattoos, no, it would hurt. That's gross.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like a playful thing that we like argue about and stuff. And I'm like, oh, but please, Bianca, please. I'd be doing it so nice. It'd be so tasteful.
Sure.
And like I appreciate Mitsuha's the bit of rebellion in her personality. Even if I do kind of cut a frenemy line just because of uh, social group differences.
Sure. All right. Oh, that did take longer than I thought. I'm sorry. Character creation. Um, okay, so you have. That's not how you spell things. Okay. Excellent. You have these characters, and they are fantastic and wonderful. And we could start with. We could do a little scene and end it with a little thing. But yeah. I need just a minute. So if you would like to talk amongst yourselves in class, I have to do a thing real quick, and then we'll do a scene if that's okay.
Sure.
If you in fact, I'll give you guys a scene to play in. It's the uh, it's the end of September, which means school has been in session for a month and a half, and you've kind of gotten adjusted to your classes, and you know where your locker is, and you know you've finally got your dorm situation settled out, and wouldn't you know it, you two are sharing a dorm this year, and a dorm room, and it's part of a uh, it's a newer building that they've put up that they want to help encourage interconnectivity between magical schools. So each school has a couple of students picked out, and you kind of get like mixed together in this newly built dorm. And it's like a lottery system that may or may not have been based on how bad your skills are, or how good they are, your testing skills. But yeah, you've shared a room for about a month and a half. Well, I would say you got there not knowing that you'd have to move in, and you about a week ago you were told that you were both selected to go into this new dorm, and it's about, I would say, 20 rooms. It's about 40 kids or so, so it's smaller than some of the other dorms. Yeah, and that is where you are right now, just adjusting to living with someone who is in a different school than you, and in a building where everyone's mixed and has different opinions. It's very it's a little chaotic, but that's school. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
And the sign up sheets for the fall cultural activities have just gone up. Just saying. And people are sort of talking about that, of different festivals and activities they can sign up for. And you know that if you don't sign up, like part of this thing is you have to sign up as together, as a pair, to whatever clubs or activities you go for, so you can prove that you can work together not only in a living situation but in a school and activity situation. So that is, it's a big bulletin board with lots of different stuff on it, and people are just like crowding around and chatting and.
Okay. So, is it cool if Mitsuha is in the room as Bianca walks in?
Sure.
In the shared dorm room.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing here? I specifically signed up with Alexa. I requested her. The 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 coordinator said that it would be no problem.
Oh well, you know the procedure, Bianca. It is a lottery based on, determining factors.
Yes, but he winked.
Okay, well, I'm thrilled to have you as my roommate too.
Okay, well, it's probably too late to do anything about it now.
Yes, that's the attitude, Bianca. Please don't get glitter in all my things.
No, I'm sure we can work it out.
Okay.
But I guess we're gonna have to pick activities now. That's how this
Hmm.
works, right?
And we'll be painting the room black.
What? Very
Painting
funny.
the room black.
Yes, very funny.
Question: have you
Fun.
already started painting the room black?
Yeah, it's like half of it, like exactly half of the room is just like all black with little like doilies and like candelabras and stuff. I was going to do your half as well, but I thought you might want to help as a bonding exercise.
That's well, I mean, I'm sure once you're done, it'll be okay, right? I mean, usually one doesn't use black as a primer. I
Oh,
mean, it'll make the whole effect rather dark, don't you think?
She just kind of like sort of raises one eyebrow and like tilts her head and is like, "Yes, activities. Did you have any ideas?"
Well, I suppose uh, there if there's something about helping the less fortunate, maybe we can uh, do some sort of fashion advice. Uh,
Slightly lost me on the fashion advice. But no, I like the idea of helping the community. That seems good. Those who to a lot is given, a lot is
uh,
asked.
makeup?
Okay, now really, really dig deep, Bianca. Okay, think about
Okay.
the needs of people.
Fine, fine. Uh, I suppose we could. I mean, I don't want to like actually, you know. Well, I don't want to say, but perhaps something with children, as long as they don't like throw up too much. Uh,
Oh, mm. Oh, you like animals?
that depends.
You like? We could do some sort of animal rescue shelter volunteering.
Well, again, that depends. Like,
I mean, you
I'd
can
be
stay.
okay with working with like kittens and such. Um, but we have to like talk to the shelter beforehand. I mean, I wouldn't want to be like scooping up after them like they. I mean, if we were like,
I'll do the scooping, Bianca. Don't worry. I'm
oh,
used to getting my hands dirty.
okay,
Look, I'll rescue the animals from the dark holes, and then you make them all glittery and poofy again. How about that?
that's kind of you. I think this could work.
Hmm.
yeah. And you agree to that sort of thing, and you go out to look at the sign up sheet, and there are things like there are fall festivals you can sign up to do. There are different sporting teams. There is there are a bunch of charity things. There are candy drives. There's a beauty club. There's campus security. There's a book club. There's a books club. Uh, there you could do a community outreach. There's a petting zoo that they will put up in the fall as a sort of event.
Mm.
Um, there is
Okay.
shelter volunteering. There's the academy garden, and there's the cooking and baking club, and other clubs as well. Newspaper, classic
Um,
school stuff.
I suppose
Sorry for
that
being dense, but what was books with air quotes?
Books club.
I
As
mean,
you, it's right next to the book club, and it looks like if somebody took like the book club with like all the like printed graphics and did like a Victorian style with like calligraphy and like tea dripped paper, but maybe it's actually really old. And books is definitely in quotation marks. It's
okay,
like
so
that same format, but
do I like interpret that as in it's about the craft of books rather than? about, you know.
I think you've both been in school. It's people who don't necessarily want to read books, but people who go to they make books and they discover books. They also take care of scrolls. So it's not just books, you know,
Sure, it's like a cartographer's society.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's much like that. And the book club is about like reading books and discussing them. And this is about like everything not that.
So I guess you maybe see Mitsuha like look up at the books air quote sign, and then like look to Bianca, and then just like look down at her shoes and sigh. And
Yeah, and I think Bianca, sort of follows your gaze to that, and then kind of looks up and around, and there's like this there's definitely like a want don't want on her face.
Like books aren't cute.
But there's also this like certain appeal. Tell you what, let's sign up for the petting zoo, unless you want to do the beauty club. We could still do the beauty club. And then if you put your name on the other thing, then maybe maybe a pseudonymous person will happen to show up to the club sometimes. I don't know.
oh, Bianca, that's so sweet of you. But no, we should do the shelter. We should use this time to actually do some good and to look fantastic on our CVs.
Yes, of course.
All right. So shelter volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just like the shelter volunteering is one of those things. Like there are like festival things where you kind of like build up to it and then do it, and then there are things that kind of go throughout the semester, like the shelter volunteering and like the sports and the clubs. So volunteering is one of those long-term things, and you could sign up for more than one thing too. If you think you can handle the workload, it will come into play later. But however outgoing you wish to be, you aren't locked into just one thing. But that if you want to do shelter volunteering, that would be great.
Yeah, we should do that. How do you feel about doing the shelter volunteering is like an ongoing thing, and then doing something else for the festival as well?
Uh, I suppose we could do something for the festival. Um, I. Well, okay. Uh, one moment. And I'll go and sign up for the shelter volunteering, and then by the books, I'll kind of quickly and furtively scroll down Joanna Smith.
Okay. Um,
And I'll give you a quick look, and then and then look away,
yeah.
and then move away from the board.
Okay. So you signed up for the shelter and the book club. Okay. Um, all right. So you see your friend sign, and then you look, and it's not their name, but
Yeah, I'm. She just sort of sees that and like just like rakes a nail across her temples, and then just signs her actual name on like both of them.
all right. In that case, you are part of the books club and volunteering at the shelter. Excellent choice. Great job. Um, and I know it's 4:10. Do you guys want to do one of those scenes before we stop, or do you want to stop? Well, it's up to you.
I'm pretty
Let's see
low on
here.
energy levels.
Okay.
Okay. Right, well, you've successfully been dormed together, and you've signed up for a books club and a shelter volunteering,
I
which is great. Thank you for playing this game with me. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
Yeah, likewise.
That's our
Sorry
bad.
about
Yeah.
Sorry to anyone watching this in the future, and also
Yeah.
the playing.
Yeah, and I apologize for the OCD on screen elements as well as my own technical difficulties.
Okay, it's prepared for next time,
Yes.
whatever that may be. Yeah. Right. I think one thing I've learned is kind of confirmed is that I need to name things a little differently and maybe get a randomizer chart up that people can look at. Um, that's not just online at one of those randomizer charts, but how could I ever be as good as these guys? Yeah, yeah, we did it. We got a
Well,
game started. We got
yeah,
characters made.
Hooray.
yeah,
Two
I'm
train rides
excited. I
later.
think, yeah, yeah, I think this will be fun.
Yeah.
Um, so, uh, Adaser, would you like to talk a little bit about the cool stuff you're doing on the internet?
Sure, I have been doing RPG icons as of late and this game design, and I will be moving since it is officially November into ornament making and miniatures back in the miniature saddle again. And I can be found at twitter.com/adaser and twitch.tv/the Posh Panda and patreon.com/Jean_Adaser. I think that's as concise as I can get. Okay.
Okay.
Get
Uh, and Spook, I know that uh, uh, you uh, uh, sort of
Exist in the real
avoid,
world.
yeah, or yeah, avoid like the official internet presence. But if there's anything you want to shout out,
Oh yeah, I got one. So I got two things. One, I'm trying to stop combusting at the moment, as in rather than like smoking cigarettes, like using a vape and stuff, and just anyone else who's trying to get away from combustion at the moment, just take my positive vibes and even if you fall down a little bit, just try and keep at it. Just having a cigarette every now and again doesn't mean you've failed. Just keep going at it. And then the other thing is, last time I said instead of Patreoning me, you can give it to charity. Also, and based on like silly roleplay idea, if you don't have a lot of money, there's always volunteering. If you've got a little bit of time, so that's something really positive you can do to feel good. Whenever like a bad thing happens, you can even just do something like giving blood, and that you're just helping out your fellow humans. So just keep being awesome. Internet, keep being you.
very cool. Yes. Uh, Vape Nation. It is a trend that saves lives. Uh, so you can find me hereabouts on Twitch TV/, RPGlory, on also on Mixer.com/RPGlory, archives on YouTube/C/RPGlory. If you want to yell at me directly on Twitter, that's RPGlory DOTCOM. Um, I'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific for uh, cartoon space ninjas racing against various others. It's going to be wacky. And then on
A wacky race, one could say.
you could, in fact, it is officially
Cease and desist immediately.
It is the Wa Key races. Yes. Yeah.
I love it.
On Wednesday, we'll be doing monsters and other childish things. Dazer is going to be there. It's going to be awesome. Uh, we it's horror and comedy with kids and their extra-dimensional slavering monsters with too many eyes.
I'm gonna see if we can't eat someone next time.
Okay.
I think all of our creatures have that ability, and we're just gonna.
I think
See
they're
what
all
happens.
hungry.
Hmm.
Like as a trait, hungry.
Yeah.
Bad things can happen.
Wondrous things
Mhm.
happen.
And hopefully we'll be doing something very cool, either Meatybones or Eschaton next next Saturday. Uh, and uh, despite all of that being like highly self-promotional, I do wish to put like you know some like good and positive vibes out, and but since I don't have anything prepared along those lines, I'll just
Be good.
be good to
Be
each
good
other.
to us.
Yeah, follow Wheaton's rule, don't be a dick. Uh, and I guess that's about it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks
Big
for running
love,
into.
everyone. I'm waving. You can't see it, but I'm waving.
Yes, yes.
I'm waving from off screen. Oh.
Um, okay. I almost tried to wave the static image I put up for you, Spook, but that's too technically demanding at the moment.
I tried.
Yes. So thanks again, everybody.
Bye.